Menopause Energized, Day 9, 30-day Healthy Heart Marathon continues. Hey everyone, did you know that there's a fat that's more dangerous than the fat that sits around your belly? Because we all worry about that mental belly and why we're accumulating that fat. Well, there is a fat that is more dangerous than the one we worry about around our belly. Just stick around for a few minutes and I will explain exactly what fat that is. Hi, my name is Sheila and I am a registered nurse and health coach, and we are continuing our 30-day Healthy Heart Marathon, and we are on day 9. So today I won't take up much of your time again, but I'm going to explain a little bit. All this again, ladies, is about awareness. If we've been going, this is day 9, take it back to day 1. It's all about making you aware of what's going on with our body and the reason why we sit here and say to ourselves, why are we at number 1 risk for cardiovascular disease? And everything that I'm telling you about up till today, day 9, is the reason why, so we can see things more clearly. So we're talking about weight and a healthy heart. Now, we're talking about fat distribution here today. Fat is usually distributed to the regular parts of our body like our arms, our hips, and our legs. That is what we call subcutaneous fat, because we can actually see it. You know, you can actually touch it and wiggle it around a little bit. That's subcutaneous fat, which is not usually like dangerous. I mean, of course, if you continue to gain any type of fat, it's not good for your health. But there is a fat that's actually dangerous, and that is called the visceral fat. Visceral meaning that it is fat surrounding our internal organs, which is the heart, the liver, the kidneys, the pancreas. And I might have forgot a couple, but that's what's considered visceral fat. Now, like I said, we worry about the visceral fat around our intestinal area, and that's when we get what we call the mental belly for some of us. Everybody do not get that. That fat, yes, can be dangerous as well, but the visceral fat is more dangerous around the heart. And as you guys remember, we did the little heart thing the other day. I'm going to find that picture for you. As soon as I can find it, I'm going to show you the diagram of the heart. And with all my many, remember we talked about the heart the other day? We won't go through any of that again. I just want to show you that in the heart we have the epicardial area. In this part here, where you see the brown at, this is where the fat gets deposited at. It doesn't really get deposited around the heart here, but it actually gets deposited right in the epicardium area. So you see where that could be a problem, because when it starts getting fat, of course it's gonna, and you see here, it's gonna clog, it's gonna block off circulation to the heart. And we talked about that the other day. When circulation is blocked from the heart or to the heart with the blood flow, we start running into problems. It could be high blood pressure. It could be heart failure. It could be any of those cases. The pathophysiology behind this is that usually the fat is carried again to the regular parts of the body, the arms, the hips, the legs. But it takes a shift. When that visceral fat kicks in, it takes a shift. What happens, there is a substance that helps to carry the fat to those places, to the legs and to the hips and to the arms. But estrogen, when the estrogen takes that dive again, here we go talking about the estrogen, when the estrogen takes that dive, for some reason, it suppresses that substance. And when it suppresses that substance that carries the blood to the arms, the hips, and the legs, then what happens is the fat takes over the visceral fat and it goes to the internal organs. So you have that shift that takes place. It starts going to the heart. and it goes to the belly, and it goes to other organs. And again, the heart is the most dangerous. And what happens is, not only that, what happens, the second part is that the visceral fat releases these chemicals that travels to your arteries and to your vessels, and they're dangerous chemicals that can cause a lot of inflammation and damage to those arteries and vessels. Now, again, we talked about the heart and how the fat deposit in the epicardium area affects the heart. Now, the metabolic reaction, there's another one. I'll tell you what happens with that. Also, not only do visceral fat release chemicals to the arteries, it releases what they call fatty acids into the bloodstream. The liver what happens is when it releases those fatty livers into the bloodstream, the liver feels like that they have to make more glucose to compensate. So the liver makes more glucose, and that's how sometimes we can get the high blood sugar. So people be wondering, why is it that we're at risk for diabetes as well and cardiovascular disease? In this particular case, this is I try to explain it as best as I can without going into complex information, but basically the liver takes and make more glucose because the visceral fat is releasing these fatty acids. And so we got the liver, and we had the liver making more glucose, which possibly can lead to diabetes. And then, of course, the diabetes can lead to what? Heart disease. So this is where all this ties in. This is what I wanted to make you aware of today, that subcutaneous fat and visceral fat are two different things. Visceral fat is a dangerous fat, and it's more dangerous around the heart organ than any other organ. So yes, we worry about the menopause belly, but we also need to worry about the fat around the heart. This is fat we cannot see, but it's causing danger to our system. So with that being said, just a few tips. We already know these tips. We already know regular exercise, healthy diet, stress management, and sleep. So I'm really not telling you anything new on that. But the regular exercise we'll get into a little bit more this week. Healthy diet, I don't get into too much on our 30-day because I have a whole 3-week nutritional program. It's a mini 3-week program that you can check that out. I coach it all the way through. You do 1 week at a time, one on diabetes, one on high blood pressure, and one on cholesterol. Very detailed. You'll learn just about everything in that mini course. So check out my website for more information on that. www.menopauseenergized.com, and the link is below for that as well. Also in the link below, go ahead and get your free PDF. It talks about a healthy gut. So it relates to this in a way, and it talks about a menopause belly, and then it also gives you a 7-day meal plan. It's not a diet, it's a 7-day meal plan. So click on the link below and you can get your free PDF for that. Stress management, we talked about that already a little bit the other day, and we learned how to do the breathing exercises the correct way to manage your stress. So we talked about that. Tomorrow we're going to talk about sleep and heart disease. So that's what we'll talk about tomorrow. But again, get your free PDF below. Check out the 3-week mini nutritional program. I think you will enjoy it. Lots of beautiful made power slides to help you understand it. It breaks down everything where you can understand it as well. Also, please like, share, and subscribe, because even when the 30-day Healthy Heart Marathon is over, I'm still going to be bringing frequent tips and takeaway for the week. And I believe really that's it for today. I just wanted to explain about the difference between the visceral fat and the subcutaneous fat. Again, what we don't see sometimes is doing damage to our body. So that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. Take care. And again, as I always say, Take care of your heart, and you always learn something each day that you can start today, and that is with the free PDF guide to start you on your way of trying to do a little bit more healthier diet. Take care.